All right, hello, good morning, good evening, and good night. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic because today what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking the Yieldmax ETFs. We're talking about YMAX, we're talking about ULTY, and also YMAG. Not YMAG, YMAG, because you guys roast me in the comments, but it's all good. I appreciate it. What we're talking about is if we're going to be buying one of these funds, because currently I do have some money on the side, and maybe you're like me. Maybe you're watching this channel and you're like, hey, I have some extra money that I want to invest into a potential new Yieldmax fund, but I don't know what Yieldmax fund is meant for me. I see some of them as a bit volatile, ones like UTLY, which they've gone down for pretty much the entire period of the Yieldmax funds. We also have ones like NVDA, which are soaring super high. They have huge dividend yields, but we're not sure about the future. So what we want to do is I want to look at these three specifically. These three Yieldmax funds, YMAX, ULTY, and YMAG, because these funds are all kind of diversified within themselves and still offer huge dividend yields. We're talking 30 to 40%, and then ULTY pays 116%. And the reason why I want to talk about them is because YMAX, I have all of their holdings up. YMAX deals with all the Yieldmax ETFs. ULTY is basically just a cover call ETF from Yieldmax, which looks to write cover calls based on 15 to 30 underlying stocks which have huge volatility levels. And then we have YMAG, which is basically the tech ETF for Yieldmax. So I want to talk about all that in this video. I am going to be hopefully deciding which one I'm going to be buying. I'm leaning towards one currently. I'm going to explain that in this video. We're going to go over it all. But please do subscribe. We're up to 4,458 subscribers, 237 subscribers in the past 28 days. That's like 10 subscribers a day, guys. Fantastic. We're growing this page and the community. So super happy. So when looking at these three yields, you're like, yo, why don't you just buy ULTY with the 120% dividend yield? Isn't it obvious they're three times bigger than YMAX and YMAG? Well, it's not as simple, because when we look at the share price of ULTY, we could see that it's actually fallen about 25% over the past month, almost 2 months. Whereas we look at YMAX and they've pretty much stayed the same. They really appreciated well, and they appreciate with the market, and so does YMAG. They kind of just stayed flat, and YMAG has fallen, but they're still paying about this 30%, 40% dividend respectively. So it's really your preference on which ones you want to buy. And I'm saying this towards you as well, because maybe you're looking to buy as well. So when looking, I want to look at YMAX first. What is YMAX? YMAX is the Yieldmax everything fund. So it holds every single Yieldmax fund. It looks, if you can see in this column right here, they all have equal weightings. So it holds every single Yieldmax fund. If you're bullish on Yieldmax as a whole, you think that maybe as a whole Yieldmax, their ETFs will appreciate slowly and could potentially offer great dividend yields. 1 month ULT, for example, I hold TSLY and I hold Square. You could see that right here. You think 1 month Square is going to have a great month? Well, you can buy YMAX, participate in that, because you hold a small portion of Square within there, as we could see right here. So basically, YMAX is the everything Yieldmax fund. If you're looking to purchase anything with Yieldmax and you want kind of diversified schedule where it's not just a tech sector like YMAG, then you go for YMAX. If you're more of a tech person, you think tech is going to have a great kind of run up, because tech stocks, they generally tend to do well. You're looking at Apple, Amazon, Alphabet, so Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Tesla. If you think these companies are going to do well, then you're going to buy YMAG, because YMAG holds seven tech ETFs that Yieldmax invests in, which are, the Yieldmax ETFs, the underlying ETFs for Amazon, Apple, Facebook, so on and so forth. Now, if you don't want tech and you don't want all the Yieldmax ETFs, you want something completely different, you go to ULTY. ULTY, 160% dividend, nothing to hide there. And they hold 15 to 30 different underlying stocks, and these are all absolutely random underlying stocks. You're not really seeing Tesla, you're not seeing Google or Facebook. What you're seeing, there is coin, so that's one that we can pick the name out, but you have other tickers like Carvana, CVNA, you have EYPT. I don't know all these off the top of my head. You have another Yieldmax ETF, MSTR, for example. MSTY is the Yieldmax ETF. We have Root. And there are a whole bunch. Basically, what they're playing on for ULTY is just the volatility. All it says here is their primary basis is the implied volatility levels of these 15 to 30 underlying securities. They want securities that are moving up and down in crazy ways in order to generate huge income. So in a sense, you could say that ULTY does have some kind of diversity in the sense that it holds 15 to 30 different underlying securities, but you can also say that it's going to be still very volatile, and the price is going to be very volatile because all their securities are looking for implied volatility. They're looking for things with crazy swings to the upside and downside, which is going to give you this price return. And to be honest, I am leaning towards ULTY. Look, I do like YMAX because YMAX is all the Yieldmax ETFs. YMAG, I can kind of stay away from. I'm not a huge tech guy. Like, I do understand tech, but I like the basic brick and mortar businesses that just bring in cash flow. I find tech to be a little bit more risky, but they do tend to have some pretty good returns when things do well. I think what it really depends on is the overall market, and that's why I wanted to bring this up, because for the past little while, the overall market has been doing great. You see, since from October, we've gone up maybe like 15% or so, and it kind of shows a little bit in some of the Yieldmax funds like YMAX, maybe YMAG, but for the past couple months, ULTY's share price has been sliding. That's due to the fact that the underlying stocks in ULTY have been sliding. So it could be potentially a good opportunity to buy some ULTY if the stocks and the holdings recover, but it's all about the underlyings. Whenever you're buying a Yieldmax ETF, it's all about the underlyings, how the underlyings perform. I don't necessarily want to buy Facebook like FBYGOOY or CONY DISO because they're all one stock. And I find that when investing, for example, in one Yieldmax ETF, the swings to the upside aren't as big as the swings to the downside in the Yieldmax stock. And so I want to have something with a more diversified approach. I want to be either buying YMAX, ULTY, or I want to be buying YMAG because they're going to be less volatile and the share price is going to be taking less of a loss, and you'll be still be receiving your high dividends from Yieldmax. So this is the exact reason why I brought up these three ETFs from Yieldmax. I believe these are potentially your best plays when it comes to holding a bit more of your capital and also your high dividends from Yieldmax. Of course, there are plays like Coney and MSTY that have been performing very good, but I'm talking about more long-term investing with Yieldmax. I think these are the players definitely to look at, and I will be buying them, hopefully one of them tomorrow, and I will let you guys know when I do that. And I got signed out because I've been too long. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, we're up to 4,458 subscribers, so please do subscribe if you enjoyed this video, want to see more, and I hope to see you guys very soon with a new Yieldmax buy update. I hope you guys take care. Hope to see you guys in the next video, and yeah, take it easy, guys. Enjoy your Tuesday.